The belly button's becoming an Audi. I remember seeing an Audi belly button for the first time when I was a kid, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with that kid? Welcome back, YouTube. We did all that warming up and our first run on the intro without the mic on, like a big dummy. So take two, back in biceps here today at Adapt Fitness. We are starting off, obviously you saw a bunch of warm-ups, things like that, to get everything fired up. Biceps, rear delts, lats fired up. Now we're going single arm pull downs, just to get the lat into a lot of length, good stretch, make sure we're kind of setting the stage for the rest of the workout. And then intensity wise, pretty much everything today is going to be about 3 sets. First 2 sets in the heavier kind of 8 to 12 rep range, trying to just kind of stay really in that range. So if we get too close to 8, we will probably drop the weight down. If we get too close to 12 or even over 12, then we'll increase weight, and then back down sets for pretty much everything. The last set will be a little bit lighter and just kind of sets to failure for all those things. So that's kind of the plan. And yeah, just getting thick. So let's do it. Everything feeling really good. Haven't been sleeping too great, which is why we got the Aura ring, tracking our sleep, tracking our readiness, all that stuff. Not to say that we're going to do anything with that information, but kind of just keeping the workout plan the standard and then trying to level up recovery based on the information we get from this. So yeah, just kind of one way to do it. I think a lot of people go about it the opposite way, and they think, let me handle my recovery and then work out accordingly. But sometimes your body's gonna lie to you. So we're gonna handle the workout and recover accordingly. Built different, built wrong, but built different. Whew. Not too bad. We got 11 on the first set, 10 on the second. So we'll drop the weight down and see if we can get that 12 to 15. perfect weight selection. A masterclass. We're gonna move on to some chest supported rows now and get after it.
How's your routine?
I haven't practiced it since last week, but I'll practice it again on Thursday. We got some areas that we're kind of playing with, but I mean, I got 12 plus weeks to like nail down a routine, and I already kind of like have one. So I was watching people's routines in this show in Frisco. I was like, y'all are just so boring. So boring. There was one guy who was like, this dude worked at a strip club before. More so shaking it around than hitting any kind of poses. But he also was an older guy who was the only person in his category. So it's like, he just had to show up. His posing routine was hilarious though.
Reminiscent of the sexiest man on the cruise contest.
Okay, so yeah, mid-back has been feeling really good. Nick and I have been working a lot on just trying to open up my back for those back lat spreads, things like that. Just freeing up those kind of interscapular muscles, rhomboids, traps, and try and just create width more than like trying to like really squeeze and overly flex, and kind of create more like a less wide, more defined back. Just kind of understanding that that's not really the goal with the lat spread. It's to spread your lats. So this movement's been crucial in that. I'll just spend a little bit more time at the bottom, really stretch there, and then just try to retract all the way back, but make sure we're getting back into length every single time. Whew. Yeah, the chest supported row, not the most comfortable movement, but I think one of the big cues that has helped me a lot in some of my Christmas tree mid-back development is leaning into it, so scooting your butt back a little bit, and then really just thinking about like your chest has to stay pushed into the seat, and kind of creating that more forward angle makes it much easier to stay and maintain that proper position. Has a much more favorable elbow angle, but also because you're leaning forward, you can't lean back. You can get a little bit of thoracic extension, but you're not, staying upright and pulling yourself away from the seat, which means you're kind of more so biasing and utilizing those erectors to pull the weight back, as opposed to getting a little bit of extension. You're ending up moving the weight with a lot of extension, and that's not going to lead towards a lot of upper back growth. You might have some pretty strong erectors. Yeah, the extra rest times sometimes can be a bit of a mental fuck, especially things like deadlifts or squats. You're kind of just like, I want to get this over with. Probably can't call that 14, so we'll say that was about 13, but quality every single rep. A lot of mid-back, a lot of lats, good amount of shoulders. That was really good. wide grip movements that we've been doing lately. We've been spending a little bit more time just kind of stretching after the sets. So trying to just get the lats wide and open up the shoulder blades. Hanging is just so good for your shoulders too. Man. Oh shit. The belly button's becoming an Audi. I remember seeing an Audi belly button for the first time when I was a kid, and I was like, what the fuck is wrong with that kid? They fucked something up. They left the tip. Yeah, I went and did the spin bike. So obviously, you know, I live in a 3-story townhome. My spin bike's on the bottom floor. So I got up, went downstairs, did the spin bike, 40 minutes. And I was like, I don't think I can get up the stairs. My leg soreness from yesterday, on top of just the fatigue of the spin bike, I was like, this is gonna be rough. Yeah, so single arm rows here. Love this variation. You can really lock things in, get a really good stretch, get a really good contraction. It's just sometimes just the idea of standing, especially on a cut, can be pretty tough. And I was talking about this with Jeremy too. I think oftentimes when you're transitioning from a bulk or a maintenance or a recomp into a cut, you really hold on to, or try to at least maintain, the weights you used when you're bulking or maintaining into your cut as long as you can. And eventually, you know, you might get those weights, but you might not get the rep range, or just the stimulus may not feel right. So I think the big key with bodybuilding is just really focusing on not necessarily progressive overload in terms of weight, but progressing the stimulus as much as possible. Trying to make sure that you're going as heavy as you can with the right stimulus. Because otherwise, you could just be using all the wrong muscles. And then when you're posing, you don't feel shit.
Honestly, with everything that's changed the past month, that's been the hardest change that I've had to deal with. I'm always pumped. Oh shit, there's nothing there.
Take the book. There's 4 books. The RTS stuff, to me, it's the most valuable. No, they're like pamphlets, like workbooks. Storm chasers. Oh yeah. Oh man, going kind of a straight arm pull down, kind of pull over motion here. So really just trying to focus on getting the elbows up towards my head and then just rotating the shoulder, keeping the elbow in a relatively quiet position so we're not getting a whole lot of like tricep extension. Easier said than done at this point, but always a great movement to get some extra lat volume in when your grip and other things are really tired. So you're not really dependent on your shoulders, your biceps, your grip. You can just focus on rotating that shoulder and keep those lats growing. Yeah, good on the macros, a quesadilla. You gotta use some like low fat cheese, low carb tortillas. Ooh, man. I've never failed that fast on this movement before. Yeah, so just straight kick back and then cross your hands and just pull as wide as you can. Superset. Ooh. So dumbbell incline curls, one of the most effective but also most hated curl motions that we do. Ooh. Yeah, range of motion on this can be tricky because all we're really trying to do is touch the forearm to the bicep, and so we're not necessarily getting like super high curl every single time, because then you start kind of finding that your shoulders start to kind of rotate. So just trying to be really disciplined, pause in that stretch position, get the bicep to the forearm, and then just finish as many reps as we can. So probably have to drop down for the next 2 sets, but stimulus is feeling good, so I can't complain. And we are vascular as fuck with a little over 12 weeks to go. This is the song I need to pose to.
I mean, look at where you started. That's why the way told him, listen, stay in your lane, because what you're doing is working. What you're doing is working. And you're killing it. And then he started going over, and that's when people started having beef with him. I biggest.
It was fine when he was on their songs. That's the only album I listened to.
That whole album's so good.
It's just, I can't, there's some shit I can't listen to.
Yeah. And I get it. It's one of those things where it's like, dude, I hate to say it, this is like one of my biggest hot takes, but like, MF Doom, love them, but like, I can't listen to like the same riches.
Okay, so that is a wrap for today. Started off a little bumpy. Forgot to turn the mic on for the warm-ups, but it is what it is. We'll continue and just see how it all plays out in editing. But for the most part, yeah, everything was pretty much just same old, 2 bilateral movements, 2 unilateral movements. So we started off with all of our warm-ups, get everything fired up. Then we went single arm pull downs, chest supported rows, wide grip pull downs, single arm rows, yada, yada, yada. You saw it all. Hopefully you didn't just skip to the end, because what's the fun in that? Probably don't learn much, but yeah, anyways, just under 13 weeks, got 12 weeks and some change. So we're just trying to grow into the show a little bit and try to just keep things as dialed in as much as we can, maintain as much muscle mass as we can, and get peeled and shredded. So yeah, let's get a little pump check and fuel up, and then we'll hit it all again tomorrow for a push day. So. Okay. Been working on our vacuums a little bit. Not too bad. Get those lats wide. Rest the arms on the lats and just keep that vacuum tight. And just still holding that vacuum. Getting light and tight. Let's go. Grab a little lower so we don't cover up that taper. Let's see. Keeping all that in. Practice, practice, practice. Yeah, not bad. Things are shaping up pretty well. Maintaining weight right now, not purposefully, just kind of where we're at. Sticking around kind of like 208, 210, kind of bouncing in that range. Lowest we've gotten to is like 207.3, so not too far off. We'll see where we're at this Thursday, weight-wise, and just keep plugging along, but strength's maintaining size is holding up pretty well, and we're just getting more and more defined. And then on top of everything, most thing I'm probably most encouraged about is that the posing is getting a lot better. So weekly practice there with a coach, and then daily practice 2 or 3 times. And then of course, just vacuums. Just been practicing a lot of vacuums. So just kind of holding, while I'm just like waiting, standing in line, grocery store, training clients, things like that. Just suck it in, hold as long as I can, and try to maintain normal conversation. Not sound like I'm sucking out of a helium balloon or anything like that. But yeah, so. And yeah, that is a wrap for today. Thanks for liking, watching, following, subscribing, loving, hating, all that stuff. And we will see you tomorrow for push day. Bo Alexander, Adapt Fitness, Dallas, Texas. Bye.